Today is the case of a daughter who begs to know who her father is.
Ms. Lindsay, you say that after years of lies from your mother and uncertainty about who your father is, you believe you finally found it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Lindsay always has a urge to find out who her real father is. That made her stand in court today.
Yes, Your Honor.
You admit to having a sexual relationship with Ms. Lindsay's mother, but say there is no way you're her biological father.
That's right, Your Honor. I met her and we just had like a hit and run situation, and there's no way she could be my daughter, Your Honor.
In this moment, the room is filled with unspoken tension. Will the truth finally come out?
About 35 years ago, my mom does admit to having a child with Mr. Dannebrink. When I was about 16 years old, an ex of Mr. Dannebrink's came to my house and accused me of being the child that they had had together. And when I had asked my mother about that, she told me no, that it wasn't true.
Her mother always denied her about her father's identity because she herself don't know who her father is.
You were 16.
Yes.
And an ex of Mr. Dannenbrink's comes to your house.
Yes.
And says, you're the child that your mother had with Mr. Dannenbrink.
Yes, Your Honor.
In other words, the ex thinks you're the child that came in between her and Mr. Dannenbrink.
Yes, Your Honor.
When she said this to you, what did you say?
It's not just a case. It's a lifetime of longing packed into a few painful minutes.
Well, at first I was like, what? You're wrong. There's no way. And I came to my mother and I talked to her about it, and she told me no, that he was not my father, that another man that she had told me was my dad.
She said this other man is your father, but you'd never met that man.
No.
This reveals her mother knows who her father is, but never gave her daughter any clue about it.
So about 4 or 5 years ago, we all pretty much met up again in church, and I knew that Mr. Dannebrink was the person that I had thought, or at least was accused of being the child of, but I was too nervous to approach him for pretty much rejection. And so I just left it alone. And then my mother and him had started talking again, and we became more close, I guess you would say.
This is where doubt clashes with memory, and silence weighs heavier than words.
The man next door, your neighbor.
Yes.
You believe he's your biological father.
Yes.
But you've never said anything to him.
Not really.
So, Mr. Dannenbrink, did you know about the pregnancy?
I did not, Your Honor. She never told me that she was pregnant. She never told me I even had a child.
You didn't tell him you were pregnant?
A truth untold can alter the course of a lifetime. What if this silence changed everything?
I had no reason to tell him because he's not the
So
father.
you were confident of that?
Yes, I am 100%.
But were you sleeping with Mr. Dannenbrink during the window of conception?
Not as far as I know. I believe that I got pregnant between June and July.
This laughs clearly shows that the mother is lying about the real truth.
What are you holding, Ms. Lindsay?
I'm holding a calendar.
Jerome, will you please hand me her evidence? Thank you. What does this calendar outline?
This calendar shows, for one, the day that I was born. And if you count back...
Miss Lindsay shows the proof that she was born after window of conception between this man and her mother.
If I was born full term, the conception would be between May and June. The doctors did say that I was born a month premature, which puts my due date at March 11th, which my mother would be right at that time.
This proves that there might a slight chance of her being the daughter of this old man.
However, I had no health problems when I was born. I was born at a normal weight.
No,
and
Your Honor, she was born at 5 1/4 pounds.
Mother speaks in between the talk to prove her side to the judge.
all of your children have been small.
She was premature.
Mr. Dannenbrink?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you agree with the dates set forth on this calendar?
I really couldn't tell you because back then it was hectic. I mean,
You can hear the echoes of a child's questions unanswered for decades.
I had so much going on. That
It was hectic.
Yes. It was back in the 70s, so I'm sure you understand what...
No, I was just a kid then, so...
I did a lot of drugs back then, so I really couldn't tell you.
Oh, so hectic has many levels.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes, Your
so
Honor.
physically and mentally hectic.
Yes, Your Honor.
So is it safe to say there was a lot of sex going on during that time?
Yes, Your Honor.
The weight of uncertainty isn't carried alone. It spans generations.
Much of which you may not have a full recollection.
Correct, Your
How
Honor.
long did your sexual relationship with Miss Hampton last?
We got together. We were together for maybe a couple of weeks, and then she disappeared. And then we meet again a few years later. So it was like that.
This shows how their relationship was going on at the time when they were young.
So you all just were kind of sex partners.
Yes.
Just
Correct, Your Honor.
Whatever.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know what's the word. Friends with benefits.
Friends with benefits.
But were y'all friends? I don't even get the friend part here.
Yeah.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Bump and go.
Bump and go.
Yeah.
Okay, Jerome. Is that a legal term that we just created here at paternity court?
We kind of joke about him being my dad and me being his daughter.
How do you joke about it?
Sometimes the heart makes jokes out of pain. Its way to soften the ache of uncertainty.
Just randomly, like people will say, oh, you guys look alike or something like that and things like that. Or he'll say, oh, good morning, my beautiful daughter or something. And I've never had that before. So.
Does he know your children?
Yes. All 4 of my children. They don't have grandpas that are alive. So he has graciously told my children that they're more than welcome to call him grandpa. And they do.
Even when blood is questioned, kindness can become the bond. Sometimes family is chosen.
You've submitted a letter to the court about how much this truly hurts you. Will you please read that letter?
Yes, I can. I said, 35 years I have walked through this life wondering who I am.
Miss Lindsay tears came out while reading because she truly wants to know who her father is.
Whose blood runs through me? Who do I look like? Where do I get my eye color from? Where do I get my nose? These are just a few questions that have plagued my mind.
These aren't just questions. They are soul-deep cries for identity, belonging, and truth.
The worst ones, though, are the ones that still hurt me. The questions like, why did you leave? Did you even know about me? If you did, would it have even changed anything? And would you have been proud of me? Why was I not good enough?
At this point, Mr. Dannon also couldn't hold his tears from his eyes.
From the moment that I couldn't remember, I've always really wanted just my dad.
That was honest and true and real and plain.
These are the wounds of abandonment, quiet, raw, and deeply human.
You know, as I sit in this chair day after day, a lot of times people will say, well, it's gone on 30-something years. I mean, why aren't you past this? When I say it was honest and true and simple and plain, because it was the spirit of a child.
The inner child who is screaming, but also deeply crying because she wants to know who her father is.
And it is your inner child. It's that child in you that still does not have the pieces to her puzzle she deserves.
The world moves on, but the inner child never forgets what she never received.
And that child is going to live on, and she's going to want those answers and need those answers. And when you hear those words, Mom, does it hurt you to hear?
Well, yes, Your Honor, it does. But I still stand firm that Mr. Dannenbrink is not her dad.
Even after hearing her daughter cry in tears, Mother stood still to her words.
And Mr. Dannenbrink, when you heard those words, I see how emotional you are. What are you feeling in this moment?
Don't think she's my daughter, but I'm hoping she is.
That's beautiful.
This is the absolute moment that made everyone cry, including you, while watching this video.
I think it's time for the results, Jerome. When it comes to 35-year-old Bobby Lindsay, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Dannenbrink, you are not her father.
Sorry.
And just like that, a lifetime of hope meets a painful halt. DNA speaks, but does it heal?
It doesn't matter. I consider her my daughter.
Biology can define bloodlines, but not live. In this courtroom, a father may not have been found, but a bond